though it's an alliance, you're dealing with, individual countries who have political dynamics at play, and but look, it can't take forever, because ultimately there are decisions we need to make in terms of our own global force posture.
Can you talk about the role of Qatar in terms of negotiating an end to the Iran war? There's some reporting today that a Qatari delegation negotiating team is in Tehran coordinating with the U.S. on trying to bring the war to an end.
Well, the primary interlocutor on this has been Pakistan, and it continues to be, and they've done I think an admirable job, and that's who we continue to work through. Obviously, other countries, have interests, because especially Gulf countries that are, in the middle of all this, may have their own situation going on. We talk to all of them, but I would just say that the primary country we've been working with on all of this is Pakistan, and that remains the case. And it's my understanding he was supposed to go yesterday, but it could be as early as today, that Field Marshal Munir could be traveling there very, very soon. And we're in constant communication with him at the highest levels of our government, are constantly talking to him.
The president announced that. Do you think that the administration has to respect 76,000 threshold troops deployment? Do you think that the administration has to respect 76,000 threshold troops deployment, U.S. troops deployment in Europe, or set by Congress, or do you think you can go below that?
Below the
76,000 troops. US.
Are you asking me a legal question, like of our laws, or no? We need to. The United States has global military commitments. We've made commitments to South Korea, to Japan, to other places as well. Constantly reevaluating the threat matrix in the world. Where could a conflict emerge? Are we properly postured, and so forth? And so this is always the work. Every Department of War, every Pentagon, over every administration has constantly had to reevaluate these things. And so we'll continue to reevaluate. That's been an ongoing process. It started from the first day of this administration, and throughout it, in coordination with NATO countries. So none of this is surprising, although, obviously I understand why it creates some, nervousness. But I think there's a broad recognition that there are going to be eventually less U.S. troops in Europe than there has historically been, for a variety of reasons. In fact, there was a surge after for example, the movement of troops from Germany that was announced a week ago. The Germans didn't freak out about it, because they knew it just took us back to the 2022 numbers, and it was, I think, a reduction of less than 11 or 12% of our total presence there. And understand, sometimes when these numbers come out, these aren't just people with guns. These are support staff. I mean, there's all kinds of other things. These aren't just fighters, war fighters necessarily. They're all the support that comes with it. So, although they may be in uniform, and so nonetheless, I mean, but that's always going to be an ongoing process. All right, I do have to run, so a couple more.
Any role for NATO to play when it comes to the situation in Cuba?
NATO's far from Cuba.
I know.
We haven't talked about that at all.